Hello YouTube. I'm taking off early today. Today is my meeting with GYR3 Amazon ops regarding my appeal of the determination that I abandoned my job. Ironically, last month was considered Mental Health Awareness Month, so kind of crazy that I would get terminated over having a severe mental health issue during Mental Health Awareness Month. Stop dinging, car. So it's 12:09 p.m. Thursday, January 1st, 2023. And I don't know if y'all could hear it when I first started the video, but the fighter jets from Luke Air Force Base are up above me right now. I can hear them. But I tried to look and the sun is just like straight up, and damn near caught myself looking straight into the sun. And yeah, I just absolutely could not see the fighter jets or the sun. Like I could hear that's in the direction they were, you know what I mean? I couldn't see them, which is a little disappointing. I was hoping I could catch a little video to throw on my vlog of the fighter jets, because it's really neat. Like the second day I worked, which was last Saturday, when I came out of the door, and I can hear the fighter jets inside the warehouse. Now it's kind of loud, but it's not like loud. It's kind of subdued. But when you get outside the building, it's like, oh damn, those things are loud. But as I came out and I noticed how much louder it was, I looked up and I was able to see two of them flying in formation. And it's just been a long time since I've seen that sort of thing, and it was kind of exciting. I just reminded me of when I was a kid, and my father used to take me to the Air Force, you know, the various Air Force bases. My father, and I don't mention my dad very often on my vlog, just because we don't really have much of a relationship anymore. But anyway, I think I want to go this way. I was thinking about turning left, and then I remembered that if I turn left, it's closed. Yeah, my father, I don't have much of a relationship with him, but things were different when I was a little kid. And in lifetime Air Force, in fact, my father's the only person I've ever met. I did talk to somebody on the internet once that also said that their father did the same thing, but my father's the only person I know of other than that, and I'm sure there's more, but that lifetime military served in both Nam and Desert Storm. Obviously as a very young man in Nam, and then a middle-aged man in Desert Storm, but still, you know, still young enough that he was in full-time active duty. And that was an odd time. Like when my dad was in Desert Storm, that was an odd time, because I was trying very much to keep in touch with him. And like I said, I have almost no relationship with him, but that was a time when there was a time when we were closer, and that was around that time. Like I had lived with him for a while in Phoenix in 1989 when I was 19. In between working at KRQU in Laramie, which I was working there when I turned 19, and I'm trying to remember if I made it to my 20th birthday at KCSP. I think I did. Ooh, somebody smashed into that fence. Damn. Wow. This is a bit of Sweetwater I was talking about trying to turn on yesterday, and I'm reasonably sure it's a public road. It really looks like a private road on this side, but very much like a public county road on the other side. So, although, now that I think about it, I notice it's like a county street sign, but it's blue. really serves the way the Maricopa County Department of Transportation does their signs. Blue indicates a private road and green indicates a county road. Although that might just have to do with maintenance. Anyway, I don't think what I just did would count as trespassing. I'm sure the people that live on that bit of Orangewood don't want everybody working in these new warehouses to use it as a thoroughfare, but Glendale, as you can see on the left, is closed. And yes, here we go, Glendale and Northern, and that sign is green. So, not that there's any text on that, like how many people would even notice the difference between the blue signs and the green signs. I'm just, on the spectrum, so I'm hyper aware of that kind of shit. I notice every fire plug too, by the way, just past one. Anyhow, sorry, I just got kind of focused on whether or not that was a private street or a public street. The way it ends is weird. Now that one's interesting. 162nd Avenue. That's not even a county-made sign. That's somebody's sign that they made themselves. It's kind of funny the way unincorporated Maricopa County kind of fits into the rest of the fabric of the Phoenix metro area. I keep trying different routes coming out of work, and actually I like this one better than most of them that I've used, even though it included a half mile of dirt road. I'm loving watching all these new warehouses go in, and it's tripping me out how I never noticed just how almost every one is based on the exact same blueprinted building. Like there's a few different modifications to them for each one, and then when they're all done, they look a little differently, but like the cast bones are all the same, and it's the same building that Amazon GYR3 and KRP3 has as well. So it's kind of tripping me out. So I shouldn't be so nervous about the hearing that I've got coming up, although I still am. Honestly, the thing that has me most nerved out is that it's a virtual thing. I don't think I've got an email response, and I should have just, as soon as I got the email from them, I should have just responded. And I didn't, and that's on me. I kind of waited last minute-ish to respond to it, and I should have responded right away, just saying, hey, I don't do well in virtual meetings. I don't have I don't have a reliable internet connection. Which mobile I don't have reliable internet connection. At home, I got a great internet connection at home. Got Cox cable internet. I think it's one of the, not the fastest tier that they have, but I know I'm at a higher tier for bandwidth than basic, which is honestly probably more bandwidth than I need. But I do like that my vlogs, as long as they are uploaded in a fairly reasonable time. Initially, I got the bandwidth package that I got because I've got a 4K smart TV, and I was looking at having enough bandwidth to do 4K streaming and 1080p streaming. That guy's in a hurry. I'm doing 75, and that white SUV just flew by me like I was sitting still. To exit, no less. Anyway, hang on, I gotta make sure I got. Ooh, shit. That's not the right knob. I'm trying to do my temperature controls. At this point, I've got to make sure that I have the vent that's to the left of the steering wheel blowing on my iPhone, or it will overheat. 45 minutes until I'm supposed to call in. I'm debating as to whether I should just show up at GYR3. It's probably not a bad idea. somewhere I've got Maricopa County Jail maximum security inmate ID. I was so proud. Oh, look, there's that SUV that had to hurry up and exit. What the hell? Oh, that's not the right road. I better get on the freeway. I'm loving that graphical sign that they have there. How it's multicolored, showing how many minutes to each individual highway coming out. I noticed that the other day, and it kind of caught me off guard. And of course, by the time I see it, it's too late to even really read what it said. But it's kind of neat how it shows the highway logos in color. Completely overkill, but I still kind of dig it. Yeah, I really wanted to keep that one just because I'm like, when I get out, nobody's going to believe I was maximum security. I'm going to tell people I was maximum security. They'd be like, yeah, right. You were in there for what? Child support. Yeah, there's no fucking way you were maximum security. And it just has to do with some stuff in my past. Mostly mental health related stuff. And one thing that always pops up, like whenever I'm being booked, is something that a police officer put in the system once, where I was having a manic attack and the officer was trying to arrest me, and I didn't really understand what was going on because I was having basically a schizophrenic episode. Everything seemed surreal. Like what I was experiencing was a cross between Cool World and Toontown. And I just thought, I thought it was just some sort of a weird waking dream, like nothing. I was just playing along, and it just the whole thing seemed surreal. And I do remember one time I put a spare tire. It was they were trying to arrest me in this alley, and I had no idea why, because I didn't feel I had done anything wrong whatsoever. In fact, I completely felt like I was the victim of a crime, and honestly, I think I was the victim of a crime, but that's a separate tragedy. I still feel in the incident with Costco, I was the victim of a crime, and I intend to fully pursue that. But anyway, that's also a separate tragedy. But wow, and I'm super low on gas. I think I have enough to get home though. Anyway. But it almost, everything at that point just seemed so surreal because of just how much of a schizophrenic episode I was having. And I almost felt like I was playing some sort of a character, if that makes any sense. And so when the cops showed up, I just thought it was part of this whole thing that I was experiencing, which is hard to explain. And I saw a donut spare tire in the alley, so I picked it up and threw it in the back seat because the one officer had opened the back door. I'm not sure why, or maybe the window was open. Maybe that's what it was. And I shoved it through the window. Whatever it was, it freaked the hell out of me. It freaked the cops out. I'm lucky I didn't get my ass shot. The way cops are today, I'm sure I would have got shot. Fortunately, this was in 1996. But yeah, I tried to. I don't know if I tried to or if I succeeded. I think I actually put the spare tire in the cop car, and I was like, and while all the while saying, "Hey cops, would you like a donut?" Now I'm thinking that the whole joke was lost on them, but it was a donut spare tire, donut, mini spare. Cops, donuts. It seemed hysterical to me at the time, and the cops all looked like cartoon characters anyway. But yeah, at that point, like, they came out and started, like, tried to throw cuffs on me, and when I'm in that mental state, I move very fast. I don't even know what I'm doing until after I do it. And somehow, I caught another charge for this, which ended up, thankfully that one just got dropped. But I did get another charge for resisting arrest, because what I did was, as he was trying to arrest me, I pulled the cuff keys out of the cop's hand and stuffed it in my pocket. And the cop basically had to ask really nice and coerce me. I mean, I guess they could have tackled me and fucking, manhandled me. And thank God they didn't. God bless them that they didn't. Like, obviously, now, of course, when I looked over all the police reports, they had that phrase that they like to put on anything that has to do with a police report when I'm having mental health issues, which is acting as if he's on drugs. As if he's on drugs. It's always as if he's on drugs. Which I think it's a real shame that that's the conclusion that all cops jump to when they observe unusual behavior. Like, they don't think, well, maybe it's a mental health issue. Maybe he's autistic. Maybe he's... No, just must be on drugs. And there's so many stories where people who have learning disabilities... Oh God, here's a keyword that freaks out the algorithm on YouTube, but I'm just going to say it: mentally retarded. I'm not saying that to be derogatory to somebody who's like that, but somebody who's like that is not going to behave as a normal person. And the cops will jump to the conclusion of, like, he's on drugs. No, the guy has a learning disability. Open your mind and realize not everybody's going to just react exactly the same. A whole lot of people in the world, and we're not all the same. But yeah, there have been so many instances where the police have reacted with violence because they thought somebody was a threat and thought they were acting like they were on drugs. I remember a case in, I think it was in Buckeye, where this teenage kid just got... I don't think he got shot, but I think he got violently, tackled and manhandled by the police because they freaked him out, and the whole reason they were following him and fucking with him is because he was stimming with a piece of string, and they thought it looked like he was doing drugs. Really? What kind of drug looks like stimming with a piece of string? Like, seriously, y'all are law enforcement. You need to know a little bit more about how people cope with mental illness. And you also need to know a little bit more about what people do when they're doing drugs. Because that's not what it looks like. But what it does look like is a dirt bag on a 7-inch bicycle at a bus stop with a lighter and a piece of foil. That's what you need to be looking for, pigs. Look for that. Not the teenage kid who's sucking on a piece of string. However he was stimming with it. I don't... I've got my own ways of stimming, and they're different than that. Anyway, because of that whole incident, it raises some kind of... Ever since, it raises some kind of red flag when I get arrested, no matter what the situation is, that results in me going to maximum security. Now, sometimes further into my stay, like, I end up talking with somebody and I end up get into special housing for those with psychiatric needs, which is probably where I belong, or I end up getting into, like a lower level general population area. Although, if I recall, the time I was on that stay, where I ended up taking... No, that was not the stay where I took the ID badge. I'm trying to remember the one I got the ID badge. I've had a handful of different extended stays in jail, but I'm thinking the one where I got the ID badge out, because they take that from you when you're booking I think that's the time I was in for child support. I think I managed to get it out when I was in for child support. But I think I also kept the one that I had when I was processed out and went to prison in '99. And I think the way I got away with that one is I pretty much kept it on me all the way through the whole kick-out procedure, the transfer-out procedure, to the point where ADOC comes to pick me up. And then, instead of hanging on to it to show the officers, since you're not allowed to bring anything with you from jail to prison, they give you a little box to put all your personal property that you have on you in jail and address it to your home address or your family address or whatever. And then they mail it. They pay for the postage on it. So, like, if you bought a radio, from commissary, or any personal stuff, like, you get all new shit when you get to prison. You don't get to bring anything with you to prison. And but they don't want you to seal the box. And as far as I can tell, they didn't inspect the boxes. So jail ID went into that box. And it was in the box, waiting for me when I got out of prison and got home. I was only in prison for, God, I want to say 3 months, if that. It wasn't much. So it's 12:30 right now. So I'm kind of on the fence. I should have been a little more proactive in trying to get out of the warehouse faster. But Victoria wanted to get a picture for my employee ID, and I'm every time I see Victoria, I'm trying to low-key flirt with her without it looking like I'm overtly flirting. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I really dig her. She's fucking adorable. And probably married. I don't know. But, whatever. RGYR3 on the left. And yeah, same bones as all those other warehouses. By bones, I mean, the form of the cast. Now, the placement of the windows is different in this one, but everything else in the shape is exactly the same. I'm going to wrap this up right now. Thanks for coming with me on this drive. No matter what happens, I think I'm going to be okay here. I mean, the absolute worst case scenario, I lose my appeal, and I don't even go down as fired. I go down as job abandonment. It's not the same as fired. It's like job abandonment, it goes down as if I quit. But I don't think it carries the same stigma as so I think I'm pretty sure I can get rehired, just literally apply and get rehired. But it's the end of lunch hour right now. Yeah, 12 to 12:30 is day shift lunch. As I'm driving through the toking section. I don't know if it's a toking section on day shift. Day shift is just another animal. It really is. I've only worked a handful of day shifts as VET shifts, and I thoroughly enjoyed them. I wonder if that super cute forklift driver is still here. I really should have got her number. Her and I really, really clicked the last day shift I worked, and then I haven't worked a day shift since. Anyway, worst case scenario, I mean, I've already got a better job. I'm good. I've really been thinking about it though, and I think if at all possible, I want to keep this job because it doesn't look like there's just as much flexibility for shifts and overtime with K-Power over at the furniture warehouse. And I definitely want to work more than just 40 hours a week. So if I could stay here and be on flex, that would be amazing. I don't think I could handle working 40 hours there and 40 hours here. That would be more than I could bear. Although there's another guy at the warehouse, at the furniture warehouse, that's doing that, and I want to talk about him later. But I gotta go handle this. Thanks for coming with on the drive. So I'm in the lobby, and
somebody from HR came out to help me. I do have to do the meeting virtually, but I explained what my issues are, and he actually helped me set up what I need to do on my iPhone, what I need to do on my iPhone with it, and I'm able to use the Wi-Fi here, so I don't have to worry about having a bad connection. I do need to worry about the Apple iPhone having a bad battery. I'm at 41% right now. Yeah, a lot of times it gets down to 30% and it just dies, so hopefully it doesn't take long, and I can, at the beginning, just let them know I have some battery issues with the phone, and that's why I'd asked to do it in person. But I don't know, hoping for the best. And realizing I forgot to put my sunshade up, so it's going to be like an oven in my car when I get back.
Hello and welcome back, YouTube. So I'm just now leaving the GYR3 parking lot. Oh yeah, my car was a complete oven. I've been sitting in the car for a while chatting with a friend on Snapchat. I got my windows down. At least some of the heat dissipated. I got the AC on now. So I'd like to say that I know what the results of that little meeting, hearing, whatever you want to call it, was. But I don't. And it's ultimately not even up to him. I do feel like this guy is going to advocate on my behalf, even though I don't know who he is. Apparently he's somebody's senior ops day shift, which obviously day shift is the higher. Much as I don't like it, day shift kind of from an operations management point of view is kind of above night shift. Although we get way more work done in the building on night shift than day shift does. Hands down. And everybody knows it. I feel like it went really good with him. Now, one thing that he pointed out, and this is something that definitely caught my eye. I don't know if I've mentioned it in my vlog, but it was definitely something that caught my eye when I was filling out the online documentation to request the appeal, is that ultimately what is being decided was not if it was fair to let me go, but what's decided is whether or not the procedural rules, the policy was applied properly in my situation. And on the surface, I would say it probably was. I don't think it was triggered by a person. I don't think any person put in, oh yeah, Daniel's abandoned his job. I don't think that happened. I really think it was 100% done by an algorithm following a simple logic flowchart of X amount of days of no activity on the A to Z app, no entering the building, no clocking in, clocking out, and that was the end of that. Sometimes I really wish there was a green Montero here. Anyway, normally I would just go straight or I would turn right, but I just realized that I left the only working lightning cable that I have, that I know where it is, at the furniture warehouse. I grabbed there's a place I've been keeping it in the break room where it's kind of on a plug-in that's sort of hidden behind a chair, and then I've been running the cord underneath the lockers, and when the phone is charging, I have it kind of sitting under the lockers. I mean, can somebody steal it there? Yes. I'm pretty sure there's surveillance in there, and it's such a small group of people that I work with, although I did notice that there's other crews that are not part of the crew I work with that also use that brake. But again, I'm not too worried about it. But I found like the best theft protection. When it comes to things like that, is out of sight, out of mind. Which, putting it there to charge, I mean, it's an iPhone 6s Plus. It's a super old iPhone, so it's not the sort of thing most people would even think of stealing anyway. And so I'm not terribly worried about somebody stealing my phone when I have it charged under there. It's so invisible right there. And I'm not particularly worried about somebody stealing my, I'm trying to straighten this up a little bit more. Not particularly worried about somebody stealing my lightning cable or my charger either. Not that it would be a huge deal if they did. The biggest problem that I have is that I've got a very weak battery on my iPhone. It's at 23%. And as bad as my battery is, it's frightening how quick it goes from 20% to dead. Which is why I'm shooting video, by the way, on Obama Phone 4. Damn. That's a minor traffic issue right there. Trying to force my brain not to analyze the whole intersection and how it can be fixed, because it's not like I'll have any opportunity to fix it, but it's just something my mind just kind of does on its own anytime I see a traffic issue like that. I'm always wondering, what small things could be done to alleviate that. Anyway, where was I? That just totally took my mind in a different direction. Oh yeah, lightning cable. Yeah, so I definitely don't have enough gas to drive all the way out to the warehouse, the furniture warehouse, and it's what time is it? Oh, I guess I should say the date and time, huh? It's still Thursday, 2:11 p.m. Yeah, we all leave at 1:30, so I don't even know if there's even still anybody there that would let me go in there and get it, even if I was to drive all the way back there, and even if I had enough gas to drive all the way back there. Anyway, even assuming that there was, which I don't think there is, I honestly think it would cost more in gas, not to mention the massive waste of time, to drive all the way there and then back to here than it would to just drive over to Ross and get myself another lightning cable. And I've been kind of needing another lightning cable anyway, so I guess now's the time to get one. Yeah, I'm seeing this traffic issue happening again. These vehicles on the left are backed up all the way to I-10 to the point they were blocking the intersection of McDowell. Yeah. Phoenix and ADOT should really be working together to try to not let that happen. I'm sure there's a solution to it that's as simple as restriping the road and maybe changing the timing and sequence of the lights at I-10 and also McDowell. So I feel like like my meeting, and it's with someone from senior ops at GYR3. How it actually played out was super bizarre. Dude, you're already blocking me. Just pull out, go where you're going. The way I'm driving the forklift at the new furniture warehouse, because it's just a free-for-all with pit and pedestrians sharing the same space, and the amount of ground that I cover on my forklift, while sometimes driving really fast, Yeah, anytime I start moving, or anytime I'm coming around, you know, potential blind corner. Wow, it's like a homeless shelter right in front of that business on the left there. Yeah, I'm constantly beeping, and it's so funny. Like, as soon as I got in my car, not today, but I think it was yesterday at the end of the shift, and I go to back out of the parking spot, I just felt like I needed to, and I leaned out the window and said something to one of the other forklift drivers, and he laughed because I think I said it was kind of at the same place, but it's like, man, it's like after 8 hours of that, I feel like I'm supposed to toot my horn before I back out of this space. And seriously, like, I'm just like, in my head, it's like beep, 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 beep. I don't know. I guess the forklift driver thing. Anyway, I'll explain more what happened in my hearing and other, yeah, just how that happened, how that all went down. Once I get back from getting myself a lightning cable. By the way, it is hot as hell right now. I probably put in my sunshade. I keep forgetting to do that. Okay, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, but it's all good. I bought a whole bunch of crap, and some of it I needed, and some of it I didn't need. But it's all good. I'm happy with all the crap. And speaking of unnecessary crap, so there's a Dollar Tree, which should really be called $1.25 tree at this point. But anyway, right next to Ross, and well, I should back up. So I went into Ross and I bought a whole bunch of crap that I didn't really need. I mean, I got the iPhone cable that I needed, but then I realized I got the wrong one. And I liked it so, like, I could have probably gone in and returned it, but I liked it so much, I'm like, nah, I'll get what I need to use it. I thought I was getting one going from USB-A to Lightning, which is just USB-A being like the regular square or rectangle shaped USB cable, but no, it ended up being I keep forgetting that there's a thing now where it's USB-C on both ends, because pretty much everything I have for charging, all my little charging blocks are sort of this variety with the USB-A hole. I like that term. I'm going to start using that, USB-A hole. I just like saying a-hole. What can I say? Yeah, I got, when I unpacked it and I looked at it, I'm like, oh shit, this is USB-C. I could have sworn I bought a car charger that had two holes, one for USB-A and one for USB-C. I can't find it. I have no idea where it is. Not in the car. I needed juice for the phone, for the iPhone now. So I went back to see if I could buy one of those. I bought other shit at Ross, by the way, too. Check it out. Color changing light bulbs with a remote control. How cool is that? 4 of them. It's supposed to be super bright. It's $13. What the hell? That's a fun toy. And it's $12. I can't go wrong there. Anyway, going back, I already bought that and some other stuff at Ross, so I really didn't want to go back to Ross to get a car, 12 volt lighter jack type adapter to connect that cord in. And like I said, I could have traded it in and got a USB-C one, but the one I got I really like. It's black and it's braided, really nice, and 10 foot. So the one lightning cord I've been using lately is oppressively short, and as I've mentioned more than one occasion, it makes it up to the phone. Wow, total homeless encampment going in front of the vacant anchor store that's missing right there. So yeah, I've been wanting a long one, and I really like the look of it, the style. I mean, it looks good in the interior, it matches the interior of my car, which is all a mixture of gold, black and tan and brown. So yeah, it looks in place in the car, but it's super long. So I've got options with it. So it's like, no, I'll just find an adapter. So I looked around the car to see if I had the one I bought. Well, that was annoying. The iPhone just overheated, so probably best to unplug the charging cord from it You know, I should have known better than to even try shooting video as hot as it is and charge at the same time until the inside of my car cools down. I know better, just not thinking. It's hot enough in here, I might actually have some issues with Obama Phone 4 as well. 313 right now. So anyway, as I was saying, yeah, thinking about going to, I really want to go back to that Del Taco and see if Daisy is still working there, because I feel like her and I had a little bit of a moment, and she totally hooked me up with some extra food, and when I went there and I met her, she was I had just got hired at the furniture warehouse, and just got my forklift certification with them and told to come back to work, the next day at 5 a.m. So I was in a great headspace, and I'm telling her about the new job, and she's like, "That's good. That's really good." So it's, I mean, I'm really looking for another woman that I can connect with and not deal with the toxicity that's currently between Priscilla and I. And if you believe everything that you see on red pill, black pill, manosphere channels, it would be like, well, don't even bother. Women are toxic. They're not interested in you unless you're 6 foot and got a 6-pack and make 6 figures. But there is a certain amount of truth to that, but there's a lot of that's hyperbole. It is. There's a lot of women that would just like to meet a guy that's sane and can carry a conversation and is actually employed and supporting themselves. And I think Daisy falls into that category. I mean, I came in, I've come in wearing, I do notice that there are some women that flirt with me when I'm out shopping or running errands and I'm still wearing my safety vest. I think they look at that and they're like, well, this guy's at least making $18 an hour and he's working. which might make me better than their last boyfriend, But anyway, and and she just asked how my day was going. So, it's funny, and I think that's, and I've seen people mention this in videos about autism and in the comment threads in said videos, especially on YouTube. But I've also seen it mentioned in places on Reddit as well, where somebody will say, oh, how's it going, or what's going on, or whatever, and it's just meant as a greeting, and all they expect to hear is, I'm fine, you, and nothing more. Like, they're asking a question that they're not really wanting an answer to, and I know that. I hear a question and I answer it, and then I'm like, oh, they just wanted me to say fine, and just like they don't care. But it's funny, like sometimes, like when my head's in a good place and I actually answer the question, sometimes I get a conversation going, and I did with Daisy over there at Del Taco, and like I said, I feel like we had a moment, and maybe we didn't. Maybe I'm just dreaming, and maybe I'll never see her again, and never get anything else out of her other than an obnoxiously large extra order of fries. But figure out what exit I want. I think I want 35th Avenue. I'm going to go back there. I am. Now is not the time. I need to go straight to Costco and top off my tank, and I'm at the point where the needle is just getting below empty, and I know this car will go a
ways below that, but yeah, I'm not chancing going that far out of the way. It wasn't that far out of the way really when I was there, but you know, on 75th I could have kept going south, but then yeah, I just need to go to Costco and top off. And besides, it's already after 3 p.m., so I know traffic is going to be starting to kick up. You know, I have to walk for guys doing maneuvers like that truck on the right that I just passed. And yeah. And of course, at some point, I do need to get home and get back to sleep. I am getting a little bit tired. Although I slept a whole lot more yesterday than I normally do. It just wasn't very consistent sleep. It was like sleep, up for a little bit, sleep. Like it was. I don't think I had like any really one long period of time that I slept. And I haven't figured out what time bedtime is right now, but it feels like it needs to be right about now. But yeah, I'm going to go back to that book talk. I really am. So anyway, I realize I need a different car adapter if I'm going to use my new Lightning charging cable, which of course ended up not using it very much because it just made my iPhone get too hot too fast. It's starting to cool off in the car, by the way. The air conditioning is blowing nice and cold now. That's just the way it is in Phoenix. Like, even the best air conditioning, it takes a while to cool down your car if you're parked outside, even if you use the sunshade. It's obscenely hot here. If you live in Phoenix, you know. If you've lived anywhere else, Phoenix is kind of its own thing when it comes to that kind of heat in the summertime, and it's the 1st of June. We've hit it. I mean, we haven't hit the worst of it yet. I mean, I know we're going to have that day where it tops 120. We always get one of those, and we'll have many days where it tops 110. Right now, we're in the low hundreds, I think. Anyway, so I went into Dollar Tree hoping maybe, just maybe, for $1.25 I could get just a basic, plug it in the cigarette lighter jack and have USB-C out. Nope, they didn't have that. They did actually have a car adapter, and it was exactly identical to this one. Although they didn't have it in black. I think they had it in pink, blue, and red. Yeah, I don't need another one of these. I'm not sure if this one still works or not. I don't know. I got a better one than that, so I hardly ever use one of them. But I keep that one there as a backup. I do think it still works. If memory serves, the issue with this one is it's kind of poorly made, so the plug under the hole doesn't always line up with the hole, so it can be difficult to plug into in the dark. Well, building on the left getting gutted right now. On 35th Avenue, headed north, just south of McDowell right now. So anyway, I popped into Dollar Tree and I looked, and like that was the only car adapter they had. So it's like, nope, that's not. I don't need another one of those. And then my eyes were just drawn like a magnet to the pile of DVDs and Blu-rays. And I almost bought this one movie that looked kind of interesting, about like a fictitious pop star, whatever. But there were a bunch of copies there. Like they probably had 8 copies. So, and at this point, I'm sitting on so many Blu-rays that I haven't found the time to watch. Just say nothing of that mammoth collection of Laserdiscs that I bought last year that I've only watched about 6 of. So, yeah, do I really need another Blu-ray? Yes, I do, but I didn't get that one. I got this one. Hurricane on the Bayou. It's a documentary made for IMAX theaters, so I would imagine it's very, very high quality. I've never seen an IMAX documentary that wasn't absolutely stellar. And while I've never heard of this one, the voiceover, or the narration on it is done by Meryl Streep, so that's fairly awesome. And it features music by different New Orleans musicians. Most of them I'm not familiar with, but one of them is a jazz musician. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Alan, Tousssaint. I don't know how that will pronounce that, but I've heard his music before and I dig his stuff. And the other one that's on the soundtrack here that really caught my eye is Dr. John. freaking love me some Dr. John. I got a Dr. John 8-track tape. I forget the name of the album. It's got a black cover with like a weird drawing on it, and it's on a pink cartridge. But yeah, it's one of the 8-tracks that I rebuilt during the pandemic, probably 3 years ago, and that whole album just jams. So I'm expecting the soundtrack of this to be amazing. And yeah, I didn't even look at the specs. I probably should keep my eyes on the road and not look at that. I'm sure it's got at least 5.1. And you know something, and I don't know that I've ever really talked about this, but something that I've noticed as a person who's really into music and really into home theater and surround sound, and okay, now I'm gonna check it. Audio. English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. I was hoping maybe a 7.1, but yeah, 5.1 DTS Master Audio. The way my system's set up, if I got 5.1, it's actually a 7.1 system, but if I've got 5.1, the back left and the side left, and then the back right and the side right, it takes that channel, it sends to both of them. So yeah, 5.1 sounds freaking amazing in my living room. And I've noticed on a lot of movies that they'll have these surround mixes of songs that are definitely like 5-channel surround mixes of the songs that are not available anywhere else. Like of these songs that, like, you can buy the soundtrack album, or you can buy the album that song originally came from, and it's stereo. There's no such thing as a surround mix, a 4.0 or a 5.1 mix of that given song. And like one that I can think of right off the top of my head, I'm forgetting the name of the song, but it's over the end credits for Wall-E, and it's a Peter Gabriel song. I think it's called "We're Coming Home" or something like that. Anyway, I've never heard a bad Peter Gabriel song. Big fan of Peter Gabriel. And yeah, you can get that song in stereo, and I'm not even sure, like, I think it's like on a soundtrack, or you can buy it, you know, a la carte, MP3, whatever, it's going to be stereo. But when you're playing the Wall-E DVD over the end credits, there is no dialogue or nothing. You just hear that song with just this amazing, I think it's a 7.1 surround mix of it. So I'm hoping for some exclusive Dr. John in surround sound on this. But it was an IMAX Blu-ray documentary with the potential of a great soundtrack and a top-notch narrator for $1.25. I could not spend $1.25 on that. I just couldn't. The other movie I'm still kind of interested in. I may go back. I don't know exactly where I'm at money-wise, and I don't know what's going to happen with Amazon. But as I mentioned earlier, there's no bad result. There's no, let me rephrase that. There's no result with Amazon that's going to be particularly detrimental. Worst case scenario, they find that it was proper, that I was let go, and that what I did constituted, in spite of everything, constituted job abandonment. I quit. I've already got another job that pays better. And as far as like trying to get more work, I mean, I can look for more karaoke work. I've still got an active account. Wow, it's turning into my lane. I've still got an active account on Winolo. So I can start looking at picking up other shifts elsewhere on Winolo. And I never did pick up any shifts on Winolo. I just quickly found that it was easier and more lucrative to do overtime shifts at GYR3 with Amazon. But my friend Garfield, who of course I haven't seen since he quit, like, it's been quite a while since he quit GYR3. Yeah, God, I wish I'd have kept in touch with him. That guy was just absolutely cool, and I absolutely enjoyed every day that we commuted together on the express bus and on the light rail. And I'm really bummed I never got a chance to hear any of his music, because I know he's a very serious musician. And him and I would talk about music, and I know he's got a lot of really solid influences in musicians that he likes. And he did turn me on to some music that I had never heard before. So anyway, Garfield told me that he had picked up shifts on Manolo washing dishes. Like literally going to a restaurant or going to a fast food place and washing dishes, and was getting paid $25 an hour for that shift, washing fucking dishes. Do I want a job as a dishwasher? No. Will I go pull an extra 8-hour shift on an app and wash dishes for $25 an hour? Yes, duh. I can wash dishes. As I sit there and see people that are working way harder than me that are probably only making like 15 or 16 an hour. Yeah, whatever. I got options. There's no losing position with me with Amazon. And I was going to talk more about what happened with that. But I feel like this phone is just about ready to run out of space. Excited about this documentary. This looks like it's going to be really good. So featuring New Orleans music. It's got a lot of I don't know, eager to see it. BD Live Ready. Now there's a feature I've never used at Blu-ray. Oh, and it's region free. Bonus. Wow, and it's got a making of feature. Okay, the documentary is only 42 minutes long, which is, fine, whatever. I'm more likely to complete a 42-minute documentary versus a feature-length documentary. Anyway, God, what other crap did I get at Ross? So I got the color-changing bulbs. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put those, but that sounds like a fun. I need to do some fun projects at home that'll motivate me to do the stuff I really need at home, which is cleaning and organizing. And for some reason, like a fun project motivates me to do the other stuff that I need to do. I also got this. That was $5. Got this desk stand for phone and tablet. I did have this one that I bought at a dollar store when I was in a little over a year ago when I took the trip to Portland, that I really, really enjoyed, and it was very handy. I've used it quite a bit. I don't know if just the plastic gave way, just because it's cheap plastic and it's just such a dry climate here that a year is all. I mean, it was $1. I got a year's worth of use out of it. I can't complain. It's possible Sambo plopped on the thing. It's possible I rolled over on it in my sleep because I would like doze off watching stuff on it, like laying sideways with it holding one of my phones up, watching whatever I was watching on it, and doze over. So, but at any rate, it's broke. I'm still kind of using it, but it's not really worth trying to glue or repair. I might repurpose the pieces that aren't broke. But at any rate, this is just $5, and it looks like a kind of cool design. Definitely have a need for that. That's pretty neat. And then you know where they always get me at Ross, as you're in that common feeder line, and they only had 2 cashiers working, and it was pretty busy at Ross, which is fine. I was enjoying the people watching, particularly the women watching. There were a lot of very attractive women in that Ross, and that was distracting and completely enjoyable, but yeah, they always have like so many different munchy food there, and it never fails. I always see one, maybe 2 things that I just feel the need of. And I have these jalapeno veggie straws. My sister Stephanie turned me on to the veggie straw thing. It's actually a pretty healthy as chip type snacks go. Never tried this brand, but yeah, I like the regular ones. I've never tried jalapeno ones. I'm willing to give it a try. It was a pretty big bag for $3.49. I don't really have any chip type snacks right now, and that's something I really like bringing to work. And I've got some Ziploc bags, so I can portion it out with smaller bags to bring to work. Or I can just bring this big ass bag and put one of my Amazon chip clips on it. I have plenty of those. And this was the first junk food thing that caught my eye. You got the Mrs. Fields individually wrapped soft baked cookies, white chocolate macadamia nuts. I think these are the same as the ones that they have at Subway, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, what is it? 8 individually wrapped cookies wasn't particularly expensive either. $3.49. So way cheaper. Probably not going to be quite as fresh as getting them at Subway, but way cheaper. That's, yeah. Sometimes I need some good snack foods because, like I said, everything at my break room is massively over. Not only is the selection really bad, but everything is just massively overpriced. So, yeah, I don't feel like paying $2.50 for a tiny ass bag of Doritos. I'd rather buy 8 individually wrapped cookies and bring, one a day for the next 8 days. And I'm sure these will keep longer than that if I start to burn out on them. Is there a visible expiration date? Best by March 15th, 2024. Yeah, I got plenty of time to consume 8 cookies. It's getting so hot in my car. But idling in this heat, waiting for a pump is just a recipe for overheating the car and or running out of gas. So yeah, I'm not trying to do that. Hey, my iPhone just came back on. Or it just made noise. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to keep recording on Obama phone 4. And plug this in the charger so I can start getting some more juice on the iPhone. Oh God, I'm an asshole holding up traffic right now. Whoopsie. Sorry, guys. I will be right back, possibly on the iPhone, after I get my gas. And I'm back, and I'm on the iPhone. It's 3:38 p.m., and gas prices went down. That hasn't happened in a bit. That's a good thing. Lately, it's been $50 to top off my gas tank. Only $36.85 today. Although I put in 8.378 gallons, and normally I put in over 11, so it wasn't as empty as I thought it was. Or maybe I didn't actually top it off. That's weird. It was acting like it was topped off, but my gas gauge only went up a little under 3/4. I don't know what to think about that. That was very odd. Oh well, I'm not getting back in the gas line, I'll tell you that. But yeah, it went down to $4.39 a gallon, which is still damn expensive. But I feel like that's less than what I paid last time. All right, so, and I saw something that kind of got me happy while I was sitting there pumping the gas. So this is a shopping center that I don't go to a lot, but I've regularly gone to for a long time. My stepfather, current stepfather, my mom's current husband, used to own a transmission shop directly across 33rd Avenue. So gone to this Costco with other people before I was ever a customer here. Ranch Market on the left. Love going to Ranch Market. I don't go to this one very often because, again, it's far from where I live, but I'm just here. But anyway, what I saw that got me kind of excited, and just my phone. Right on the space on the right there used to be Fala's clothing store, which is a clothing store I really like going to. Now, generally speaking, they cater to the Hispanic community. There's usually Spanish music playing, or music in Spanish playing. But they tend to play a really good mix of music in Spanish. Like, I always enjoy the music that I hear when I'm shopping there. But just great wide selection of clothing. And they always had the best selection of school uniforms for when I had to get school uniforms for Lily. So, anyway, that store still exists, but that particular location went out of business quite some time ago. And anyway, I don't know if you could see in the video, but when I drove by it, there's a giant banner that says, we got a homeless guy on the left here. I don't know if he was in view or not. Looks like
like he's just going through his stuff. I totally expected to see a look on the left and see him smoking off the foil, but it looks like he's just sorting through his stuff. Wow, we got quite the encampment going on the right here. Look at all that. Dang. There have been people commenting on the last video coverage by Fox 10, local TV station, of the last efforts for City of Phoenix to clean up the zone, and commenting, well, you know, where are they going to go? They're just going to, they're just going to move and camp somewhere else, and that's the reality of it. I mean, they claim that they found housing for everybody that was in the little piece that they cleaned up, and the piece that they cleaned up wasn't even one of the thicker parts of it. They cleaned up, I think, 10th or 11th Avenue between Washington and Jefferson, which kind of surprised me because I didn't realize they were letting anybody camp between Washington and Jefferson. Last I remember rolling through the zone, all the camping on the street. Now there were just sometimes bumps in there, but all the camping on the street with the tents and the structures and stuff was south of Jefferson. But they said they found housing for the roughly, I don't know, it wasn't very many people in that spot in that particular news segment. But yeah, there were some people in the comments. I had to agree with them that, you know, they're just gonna move somewhere else and camp somewhere else. And I'm like, and I think I commented to that. I'm like, yeah, sure some of them are drifting closer to my place, because there's definitely been an uptick in the amount of homeless people right there at the edge of the park and the south side of the Costco building there on Oak by my place. Oh, but anyway, yeah, this is one of the roughest parts of town, by the way. I'm going through 27th Avenue on Indian School. Oh yeah, there's a lot of freakiness at the bus stops for sure. The temperature gauge is a little higher than I'd like it to be. I'm pretty sure it's working. It's just really hot outside, and I'm running the air conditioning in full, and I've been inching through parking lots. I'm gonna jump on the freeway just so my cooling system is a little more efficient. I do need to swing by Chase Bank. Let's see if a banker can help me find out what credit card payment got declined by them when I didn't have enough cash in that account to cover it, which is really frustrating. Like, that's on me for not being more on top of my shit, because it's not like I didn't have the money to cover it. I just didn't have the money in the right place to cover it. But I'm not sure which one it was yet. I haven't got any kind of alert or anything. I haven't been able to figure it out. And granted, I could probably use some various apps and whatnot and figure it out, but I don't know. Just rather go to the bank. So that last banker that helped me over there. Granted, it was frustrating to find out that I'd lost 175, but at least he was able to give me 25 of it back. But I forget that banker's name, but he was amazingly helpful. And we had quite the conversation. Just come to find out, he used to work at Amazon. So, speaking of Amazon, I was going to talk about how the hearing went. So it's a good thing I stopped at GYR3. It really is, because had I just gone home and tried to figure out the link, the email to the link for video conference, I would have failed on several levels. So a day shift HR person came out to talk to me. It showed him the stuff. It's like, oh, well, he told me it absolutely has to be online. He's like, well, that's going to be with HR, so it's got to be, which he was actually wrong. It was with local local ops, day shift ops at GYR3, but the HR guy thought it was going to be with national HR, or probably somebody in I guess they were expecting it was going to be somebody in Seattle, or in Washington, wherever the big Amazon headquarters is. And no, it was just somebody right there in the building. But I told him, yeah, one of my problems is that I don't always have a good internet connection. So I was able to get on the Wi-Fi. Like, as long as I'm in the vestibule there, I can use the internal Wi-Fi, which presumably would give me a better connection for video conferencing from Amazon. I did end up having to download the Chime app. Don't know if I still have need for that, but it's on my phone at the moment. But the real kicker, and he walked me and got me through everything, and then I was a little early connecting to it, but I was already connecting to it. I was waiting, so that I'm sure looked good for me. But when the guy finally comes on, I see somebody in a red safety vest, which is comforting. It's like, oh, warehouse people, as opposed to seeing somebody in a suit. But not a familiar face. It would have been great if it was a familiar face, for sure. Like what I would have given to see, Whitney's smiling face. Like, that would have been awesome. But I did see John Ortega, who was my manager, my direct AN when I was at Inbound like a year ago. Although he was kind of an area in the building. He did stop and say hi to me, so that's something. Asked how I was doing. I didn't really, obviously neither had time for me to really say how I was doing. But I was just like, hey, really good, all things considered, which is pretty honest. Anyway, so yeah, when he finally connects, like pretty much dead on, and yeah, I shot that little video segment, from the Obama phone with the selfie camera, and he connected like right after that, just dead on time, like straight, like. Gotta say one thing about Amazon, they are punctual. Like, generally speaking, when they say a time, they mean that time, like to the second. I mean, I feel like he connected like literally straight up 1 o'clock, and his face came on, and I could see him just fine, and he could hear me. He had no problem hearing me, but I absolutely could not hear him. So I'm trying to hold the phone so like I look decent, my face framed in the selfie camera, since it's a video conference thing. And it could have been a setting in my phone. It could have been a setting on something he was doing. I don't know. I've never used that software before, and I've generally had really bad luck on all of that type of software. I'd rather meet in person. That's just me. Anyway, the left side of my speedometer is lighting back up again. That's so weird how that one's intermittent. Sometimes it lights up and sometimes it don't. Always try to turn my lights on when I go through the tunnel here. Wish everybody did that. Anyway, I did find that if I put the iPhone up to my ear, which I'm sure it looked gross as I'm like bringing it, I could just imagine what that looked like, from his view. And presumably he was on like a full size, probably on a laptop. But yeah, if I put the speaker like right in my ear, I could just faintly hear him. So I almost feel like maybe it was a problem on his end. Like maybe he had his microphone muted or something. Because I think if it was on my end, on the software end, on my end, I wouldn't have been able to hear anything. But props to that guy for coming up with an ingenious solution to him being able to hear me and me not being able to hear him, and just how we were at a standstill. Like, yeah, I can't really hear you. Like, I can see your lips moving. Can you hear me? And he's like nodding, so I know he can hear me. And it's just like super awkward. And he had a dry erase board like right behind him. So he started writing on the dry erase board and then taking his camera and putting it up against it so I could read what he wrote, which I think is funny because I do believe Chime has an option for chat texting on top of the video conferencing. At least I saw an icon that looked like it would do that. Anyway, I thought it was ingenious that he used the dry erase board. That was brilliant in my book. Like, that's a creative solution to an immediate problem. And you know, it's kind of funny. Like, that's something that Amazon really encourages. Before they bumped Alex out of Outbound, during the stand-up, she was doing a thing where every day she would give a little bit of information on what I forget exactly what it's called, but like the Amazon, like the managerial, like things that they're looking for in leaders and leadership, and along with some discussion of like how to better yourself towards that. And I know a lot of people are tuning it out, but I was enjoying it as much as I didn't really want to move up into management with Amazon. But I do remember one of them was, you know, coming up with solutions to problems, original solutions. So props to that guy for coming up with something just off the cuff where I could read messages to him. But he asked, you know, are you in the building? And I was like, that was one thing he wrote on the board. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in the vestibule. And he's like, I'll be right out. So it was kind of funny. HR told me I could not have the meeting in person due to whatever technical glitch, and me just being there, he came right out. So we had a great talk. It's not his oh shit, my temperature gauge is up high. Yikes. I hope I haven't blown my fuse again for my oh damn it. I was gonna try to get in the right lane so I could keep moving. I was just driving so fast to pass on the right. Fortunately, the guy behind me is trying to get into the left lane. So. Ooh, yeah, I do not like how high my temperature gauge is right now. That's unsettling. Got the air conditioning off. I don't feel desperate enough to turn on the heat. I try to use that to dissipate the heat in my cooling system. It is definitely higher than I like it. It's not peg, just for the record. It's not peg, but it's or I would have caught off there at 16th Street. Right, it's going down now. I got the air off and I'm moving. Yeah, maybe I'm not going to the bank. Maybe I am just going home. Anyway, oh yeah, it's going down now. Oh, but traffic, slow it down now. Yeah, it's almost 4 o'clock. I'm getting into that crappy traffic time. I really wanted to be home before this happened, but definitely needed to stop and handle the cord thing. Didn't like the idea of getting home and having my iPhone just go completely dead on me and not knowing I have a way to charge it. Of course, granted, I could have always just walked to the Ross way home, but wanted to go to that one there. Sorry, lost my train of thought again. Oh, anyway, so my meeting with the ops guy, I wish I could remember his name. I'm really bad with names. You know, and I was kind of trying to drop, it's like, hey, if you want to know, like, some references for, like, I said, there are a lot of people here. I've been here a long time, and I told him, and it wasn't even really relevant to what was going on, but I just wanted to make sure that he understood that I'm not just some random T1 that doesn't really do much. Like, that this job means something to me, and that I mean something to a lot of people in the warehouse. And I told him the story about it. I said, you know, I think I'm the only person, and just to kind of give him like my familiarity with my in HR. And I'm hoping I'm not getting her in trouble. Because at one point he goes, well, maybe HR should have done some stuff they didn't do. I'm like, no, they were trying. I told them not to, and that was a bad decision on my part. I said, you know, and this is interesting. This is something my daughter told me. My daughter Alice. She said that one of the accommodations they put me was a manager that I didn't know overheard me saying, or that I kind of freaked out on him, and then said that I was just thinking of unaliving myself, and if anything else went wrong, and particularly surrounding me losing my car, and I kind of explained to them like that. But hopefully he could follow me, because I'm always so disjointed trying to explain things, but yeah, he went to I don't know. I mean, I feel like I gave it my best, and I feel like I made a good impression on him. I mean, as far as I'm high functioning right now, and if they check my employee record, they will see that when I applied, I did say that I had a disability, but I chose not to disclose what it was. And I told him the reason I chose not to disclose what it was is because I found in the past that either results in me not getting hired, or it limits my opportunity for growth if I do get hired. They're like, oh, this guy's mental, so he just can't really do anything. I said, so I've got these things, but I'm extremely high functioning, and I'm also a Mensa. Are you aware what that is? And he's like, oh yes. I said, my IQ is in the upper 140s. I'm not a dumb person, but I do have some mental challenges that often make it difficult to communicate with people. But once I know what I'm at, I'm really good at solving problems, really good. And just told some of the different stuff I've done around. I said, you know what, I think the only person, he did mention that he knew of one other person that walked into the robot and didn't get fired. But I kind of told him the story on that. And he seemed kind of impressed by that. He seemed like he was pretty impressed by me, which is stuff that I knew. I did tell him, he's not going to get the most favorable report from me, from Kevin, who is my current AM. But I said, talk to Sean Barker. Talk to I couldn't remember Ty's name, but I described it. He's like, Ty. I'm like, Ty. Tall, black, just got moved over to Prep Receive. Ty. And will that make any difference, or does this does he just make a little report and bounce it over to HR? Is my value to that warehouse considered? I really don't know. I'd like to think it is. What's he going to recommend? I don't know. I really don't know. At this point, I figure I more than gave it my best shot. It was a really good call to actually go there to the warehouse. Yay, my temperature's back where it belongs. Turn the air back on because it's getting hot here again. And without cool air blowing on the iPhone, it's just a matter of time till it overheats. Anyway, yeah. Oh wow, their license tape says 7 bra on it. It's a lot of bras. Yeah, he and I told him, if you want, if you want a referral from me from someone in ops, talk to Whitney. Whitney knows the stuff I do around this place. I'm all over this building. I'm cross-trained damn near everywhere. And kind of told him how I migrated to outbound from inbound, and how for a long time I worked in outbound in spite of the fact that I was in inbound, and now that's eventually ended up, with my manager changing from Sean. And I'm not really sure exactly what Sean Barker's position is, but I know it's really high up there. As in position, not just him being high up there, because the guy's like 7 foot tall. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it went good, and I should really just try not to even think about it now. Just wait. He said I should get a decision within the next couple of days. It should be probably 2-3 days. He also strongly suggested that I call the national HR line and just make sure that all my contact information is correct. Because I think right now the phone number they'd be trying to reach me at would be the Obama phone, which currently is not, has no service on it. That's something I still need to do, is put just a little something on it for prepaid service. Part of me really wants to go to the bank, but yeah, my temperature gauge is creeping up again, and I'm tired. So I'm just gonna head in, try a little bit harder, see if I can access my Chase online and see if I can figure out what payment got refused via that. I guess I could always try calling Chase on the phone. Seems like most times that I've called Chase on the phone, I've had pretty good customer service now that I think of it. Anyway, thanks for coming with me on this drive. If anybody listened to all of this, I'm not sure why, but thank you. Thanks for caring. Still feeling good. I said, I don't think it really, no matter what the outcome of this is with Amazon, I know I'm going to be fine, and I'm pretty sure financially I'm going to be fine. I still got my Arizona tax refund coming. Hell, it could be sitting in my mailbox right now. Should check that. And I will be getting my first paycheck. It's going to actually be a physical check. My first paycheck from K-Power on, that sounds like a radio station. I'm thinking about looking back at a radio. Where are you working now? I'm working for K-Power. Oh, is that an urban station? No, it's a logistics company. I drive a forklift in a warehouse. Oh, the big fluffy cat is here. Oh, it just disappeared. That cat cracks me up. I was going to turn the phone and zoom in on the big fluffy calico looking cat. And every now and then it disappears into the irrigation when the water's not running through it. And it just from where I'm sitting, I wish I'd have turned the camera so y'all could have saw that. But from where I'm sitting, it looked like the cat just disappeared into the ground. Well, I can show you where it's at. This is kind of neat. Never mind me. I'm just easily amused by shit like that. You can't see that there's a hole there. It just looks like grass. And look, a cat was walking through the grass and just got sucked up by the earth. Anyway, fun times. So yeah, I'll be getting my first paycheck on Friday. Had another good talk today with Victoria. Actually talked to two attractive women named Victoria today. My cashier who was freaking gorgeous. My cashier at Dollar Tree. Saw her name tag. Her name was Victoria as well. It's odd. It's not very often I run into someone with the name Victoria. So, yeah, she. I will be getting my first paycheck from them on Friday, and it will be for the hours that I worked on Friday and Saturday. So 16 hours. Oh, there's the cat. Wish I'd have kept the camera there. You could have seen it. Looked like the ground just gave birth to a cat. One of these days that cat's gonna let me pet it. I know it is. It comes up to me. It just doesn't come up to me quite that close. And I really think that's the offspring of the one I used to call Big Calico that eventually did come up and let me pet it. But it took a good solid 6-8 months of talking to it before it finally got comfortable enough to come up to me. Anyway, I need to go. It is hot in this car. Oh my God. It's really beautiful. Oh, there's another one of the cats. I love always feral cats out here. I think there's 2 of them up there on the wall. My cats are probably going crazy that I've been gone from home this long. Yeah, that check's going to be for 2 days. So 16 hours. I'm doing 8-hour days. Come on, lock car. There it goes. I really need to get a new battery in this key fob. Go beep. Thank you. I need to get a new battery in my key fob because it doesn't have the range it should have. It's working, as you saw. It just doesn't have the range it's supposed to have. But I should, now taxes, the way taxes get withheld are always kind of a weird and funny thing, and I never fully grasp it, but I should be able to get a good estimate of what a 40-hour paycheck is going to be like for me there by taking what I get on Friday dividing it by 2 and then multiplying it by 5. I'm thinking that formula should give me a pretty rough estimate of what to expect. And it sounds like I can pretty much count on getting pretty much count, oh, it feels so nice to be here in the air conditioning. I can pretty much count on getting overtime every Saturday there. Although we do a stand up there, much like we did at Amazon. One before the beginning of the shift, at a little bit after 5, and then one right after lunch at 12:30. So yeah, same basic schedule as what Amazon was. But at the first stand up, they talked about how they were going to be making a list of who wanted to work overtime on Saturday, and somehow I never got approached about that. Or I don't remember, and maybe I was supposed to talk to somebody and I didn't. Anyway, I've made it pretty clear with I think the people that it matters with that I'm down for whatever overtime's available. I'm really loving the job, by the way. Getting more and more skilled at the forklift. At this point, like, I'm lining up on the racks so fast. Compared to how I was doing it before, and it's just, I'm just not even the slightest bit phased bringing pallets up to the 3rd level. Like, I tend to do it just, I'm surprised just how quickly I've taken to doing that. Because I mean, the first day I was terrified of it, and the second day I was doing it, but it was a challenge, and now it's just like nothing. Still a little bothered by some of the things that other drivers just do that's acceptable there. Like, to me, just being in a forklift, traveling at high speed with forks leading is just wrong. And I mean, I've watched so many YouTube videos about, kind of pointers and training type things about forklift, and I've pretty much everyone I've ever seen, they always say, yeah, don't do that. And when I occasionally see one where you see somebody in the video traveling with forks leading, there's always loads of comments left by people that watch it saying, yeah, you don't travel with your forks leading, or you're gonna get a write up or whatever. And yeah, that's certainly one that, like, safety catches you doing that once at Amazon, they tell you about it. They might not write it up, but they certainly tell you about it. Seminary sees you doing it again, you're probably not driving anymore. And there's and one guy, and I've talked to him, I really like him. He's a big beefy guy. The guy looks like he could be a professional weightlifter. Named Juan. Really cool dude. I get along really good with him. But yeah, it makes me nervous because he's always, I don't think I've ever seen him travel forks trailing. Ever. Hi, Sambo. Yes, I see you. Sambo wants water and kibble now. Wants it right meow. Say hi to everybody, cat. Oh, that's all right. No, I'd rather show you his butt. Anyway, I've wasted way too much on this video. I'm going to have to split it in chunks. But so much on my mind. But today was a good day.